welcome back to Python tutorial, and in this module we are going to be talking about functions on Python. Function is definitely a piece of code within your code that actually allows you to have a program functionality. So for example, let's say you definitely want to do like x equals to 10 and y equals to 20. Then you have to go through the stress of saying print x plus y. So, and if you actually run this, so we need to just specify the function. Okay, you say we actually return 30, and each time you want to do an additions like this in your code, you really need to create another one. So another set of variable a equals to this, b equals to this, actually print something and say a plus b. So this is actually stressful, right? For a very experienced programmer, this is really stressful to be doing all this. So what we can do is that we can actually create a functions, and any code we actually had coded into the function, we can go ahead and reuse it in the in another segment of the program. So instead of doing that, so just a def. So if you want to create a function, use the def keyword of sum. So and then we, since it's a there of sum, then we definitely need a parameter. So there is actually something called a function parameter. A function parameter is just like passing the variable or a value into the function. So just think of it like a tornado that passes a variable into the function. So we can just say a comma b, then you need to proceed with this sign. So that's just the Python syntax. Then we can say print a plus b. So this code up here has actually doing a really great a really amount of stress for us, and all we just need is that since we have a function like this, we're just supposed to call it, or let me say, some people like to use invocation to just invoke the function, but I think there is difference between calling a function and invoke a function. Let's just do sum. So if you want to call a function just like this, and if you just call this function like this is going to throw an error because this function actually expect a parameter a, two parameter a, so parameter one, parameter two to be passed to it. So let's say I want to add 50 plus 40. That should make what? I guess that's 90. If I run this, you can see I have 90 really returned back to me, and things really get very easy. Next time I want to add something like 3 plus 5, I just have to be calling. So you see I have 8 now. I just have to be calling my function. So that's actually how things work. What if I try to call the function without passing the parameter? So if I actually go here, you can see say I have two arguments, two missing required positional arguments a and b, which are supposed to pass in. Oh, so that's just a part one of the function, so you get the idea of what is going on right there. So another type of function is that we can actually say, okay, let's create a function that actually gets the name of the user and print the name of the user into the screen. So we can just say, okay, def, then divine, that's what it actually stands from. So we can say get name, then we know that we actually want to print the name. There we can say name. So what we can do is that we can pass the name as a parameter right here, and it really makes things very easy. So next time we can just say, okay, get name, for example, we can just pass Gabriel, you see how that works fast. So you can see we have Gabriel. We can even add something really to really make this fun. So remember about the f strings I talked about in the last tutorial. You can just say name, then we'll say welcome name. So next time we run this, should actually bring something more. So welcome Gabriel. Yes, let me quickly talk about function parameters. So what if I want to have a default value? What am I saying? Yeah, a default value. So I will just use this sum. So I can say a is definitely equals to 20 and b is actually equals to 30. And if I run this code, guess what is going to happen? What is actually going to happen? What if I try to run sum without actually passing the parameter? it actually works. So why does it work? Why is it not actually displaying the error message that we have right here? Because I actually have something called a default parameter. So this actually, which means that if this parameter is missing right here, if a parameter is missing, then use this default parameter to actually go ahead and pass it. So those are the basic things you really need to know about a function. I think there's another thing you need to know about a function. A function can actually return something. So let me just say def um of check. Okay, so what are we just going to check right here? So within these we're just going to check if 10 is greater than, if it's actually greater than 4, and that's true. So if 10 is greater than 4, we just want to say return true, and that's all. So definitely the condition we pass in that array is actually true. So if I actually call check like this, sorry, if I call check like this, is not actually going to split anything into the screen, like anything happen, but something did happen. Because if I try to print check, instead of calling check ordinary, I just try to print the check, you'll see, let me clear this off. You see we have true right here. So that is because function can actually return something, it can actually return the value. And as a matter of fact, I can even clear this off and I'll put this right here, so it's still going to work. So this time I really just change it to false. So if I actually check this up, say we are false, it can even return something. So okay, let's say what are you checking? Okay, that's requires a question mark. Let's save this, and if I refresh it, you can see it returned the value of what are you checking. So the basic concept of this is that function can actually return something. As a matter of fact, we can use function within function, so we can just say returns sum. So and we can pass whatever number we want to add together. I want to find the sum, and if I run this, say none, well, it's 69 and none. Yeah, I shouldn't really be returning sum because sum doesn't have a return statement. Okay, I can just say return. Oh wow, uh that's their answer. This is not really, really nice. So I really need to take you through an escape character. So if you actually want to have a double quote or single quote, you need to forward it by the splash. So let's see what's happening. So you can see right now it's returned wow, that's the answer. Okay, so you get the idea. So what I'm just doing right here is just that trying to use a function that returns a function like that. Alright, see you in the next tutorial.